I am joined right now in studio by a cornerback for the Green Bay Packers. He led the team in passes broken up last year with 14. He was fourth in the league in pass completion rate among DBs with 45 targets. He had 55 tackles last year. He had an interception. He was a two-time All-SECer, 29th pick in last year's draft out of Georgia. The Packers were 13-4 last season. I am joined in studio by Eric Stokes. Eric, it is really good to see you, man. What's up? How are you?
Oh, I'm good. I'm living the LA life.
Okay, tell me about that. What is the LA life? What's that represent to you? What's it like?
Well, coming from the East Coast is, okay, first of all, I had to get used to the time change.
Okay.
Just from being 3 hours back, the first day, I just completely slept all day because my whole body wasn't used to it. But then now, just getting into it, just walking around, I'm being like a tourist to where I'm seeing different spots. So it's crazy.
The weather's nice, right? It's a good life out here.
It is a good life. It's a very, very, very good life out here.
All right, so you should enjoy that. So we could start in a number of places, but why don't we start with the news yesterday that Aaron Rodgers is going to return to the Packers. Aaron made the point that, hey, the deal is not what's been reported, and it's not all that, but I will be back next year. Where were you when you saw that news, and what's your reaction to it?
Actually, I was out getting food, so we was at a restaurant or whatever, and I wasn't even on my phone. And then next thing I know, I had people calling me. It was like, you see what happened? You see what's going on? I was like, no, what's going on? It was like, Aaron Rodgers coming back and all that stuff and all that. I was like, wait, hold on, nah. I didn't even believe it because I'm like, I kept hearing both sides to it. Like he was just so confused. And then after that, when I saw it, I just got dumb happy. I'm in the restaurant saying yes, yes, yes.
We're talking to Eric Stokes in studio. So was there a part of you were you concerned that maybe he would not return?
Yes, hands down. Because, nobody knew. Nobody knew his decision, only him and his close circle.
Dude, I think there's something to that. Really nobody knew. You guys did not know. The team didn't know. He played it that close to the vest. I mean, do you feel like really nobody except those in that immediate circle of trust knew? Hands
down, because he's just a private man. That's just him. So, if he wants something to be seen, he's going to let it be seen. But if not, hey, that man is completely private.
All right, so now you know. Now we all know. So what's it mean? Generally a pretty good thing when you get the back-to-back MVP back. What's that mean to the team and the future, knowing that you not only have him next year, but probably multiple years going forward?
Oh, it just feels good to where, for a fact that you got a solid quarterback right there at play. And then especially he's a veteran. He put year 18, so he knows he done seen any and everything to where, you always love to have a guy like that.
Eric Stokes is here in California. He joins us in studio. So one more thought about that. In doing so, the team also announced that it's going to put the franchise tag on Davante Adams. What do you make of that news?
Oh, love it. Love it even more because that's one person that, hands down, he's going to make sure that, first of all, he's not going to let you come in any day and slip up to where, throughout camp, he was on my tail. The camp was one of the hardest times for me because just going against him in 12, it was completely hard. It was completely hard.
Dude, that's an amazing thing you just said because the fact of the matter is you had a really good college career, big-time college career, and then you're right. All of a sudden you're going against not only two of the best in the game, but two of the best to ever do it. What was it like when you showed up in camp and you had to compete against and deal with both those guys?
It was. I was very excited. I was very ready for it, but I didn't know how good their connection was until that you start practicing it and until you start seeing you'll look like I could have sworn I was on top of this, or I could have sworn I did this, and it's just a perfect ball, or it's a perfect catch where I'm just there's nothing I can do about it. Man, you just come back and you just move on. It just taught me how to grow up very fast. Where everybody good here.
We're talking Eric Stokes. When you mentioned Davante, you kind of got into this, but is he the kind of guy that because of who he is and the way he works, everybody's got to be on their P's and Q's? There's a certain standard and a certain expectation, and if you're not right, will he let you know?
Oh, hands down. He's not going to hold his breath. He's not going to do anything. He's a dog. He's a definition of a true dog to it. He's coming in, there's nothing to play around with. He's going to make sure that everybody is on their P's and Q's.
To explain that, I love that. What, in your mind, what is the true definition of a dog? What's that represent to you?
As a competitor to it, I know for a fact that it doesn't matter any given day that you finna come out here, you give everything that you got, and that you got that little alpha dog, you got that little assertiveness to it, you ain't finna let nobody push you over either, yeah, he gonna talk his smack, he gonna do all the little stuff back to you, and he's gonna let it be known that he believe that he's the best guy, and I hands down believe that too, so.
Green Bay Packer Eric Stokes in studio. I get that. Like, for instance, would you make the argument that what you see from this guy in practice, and look, this is a time where there's never been more great wide receivers in the NFL. I mean, freaky, great athletic wide receivers who understand their craft. Could you argue that you never see anything, as much as you go up against really great players on a Sunday, that you never see anything better on Sunday than what you see on the daily in practice from him?
Hands down, to where, like, either from his releases, just from his hands, period, or just his route running. Like, I never seen it all put into one to where, like, just completely, like, his knowledge of the game is completely crazy.
All right, so having said all that, you've said a lot of good things about him. I want to read you something he said about you. He said this last summer, quote, "The closest thing to Jair here as far as mentality and ability from what I've seen so far, the kid is fast as hell. He can get beat and recover kind of like how Sam Shields would do," end of quote. I mean, dude, that's really high praise from Davante. What do those two comparisons mean to you, Jair and Sam Shields? And then how does it feel to have earned that respect from your teammate that quickly?
It's very, very humbling. Like, it's crazy to where, like, he would say something like that because he doesn't know. So, like, every single day, I'm looking forward to going against him because I know for a fact if I can at least slow you down or guard you, everybody else in the league wouldn't be anything to me. So, like, just having that, I know that's what he probably meant by, like, Jair. So, like, Jair, that's exactly how he is. So, he coming in every day. He's looking for something to get better. Like, he's looking for something. And then with Shield, of course, my speed. So, I'm not worried. Like, if I get beat or something, I know for a fact that I got my speed to catch up on, even though I try not to get beat, but it happens.
Hey, by the way, what's it like on the corner, on the island? Because no matter what, you know you're going to get beat. It's not even a reflection. You don't want to get beat too often, but you know you're going to get beat. Everybody gets beat. How important is it to have that short memory and to be able to stay in the moment always?
It's very, like, I'm not gonna sugarcoat it. It's very tough. Like, especially, like, me, like, coming from college to where, like, my last year, the ball barely was thrown to me, and then going on to the pros where now I was getting, like, I remember the first couple of weeks when I first started, I was getting the most targets throughout anybody in the league.
Of course, rookie, right?
Hands down, to where, like, I got Jair on one side, and I know for a fact that they ain't throwing to that side. Like, I knew for a fact they ain't throwing to that side. Like, even my coach told me throughout camp and throughout, like, when I started starting, he was like, you know for a fact the ball's not going over there. They're going to try you because you're a rookie and you're opposite of Jair. So it was like, no matter what, they're going to try you. So I was getting all the ball thrown to me, all this, and then after that, it was just crazy to it. Like, just having an experience going to get Davante, it changed my whole perspective.
Eric Stokes is joining me in studio. I think that's really fascinating. Like, because you were the guy and you were the man for so long, nobody would throw your way. And then all of a sudden, when you get to the NFL, you realize everybody here was the guy wherever they were from. I'm not saying that everybody went to Georgia or played at a high level, but then all of a sudden, they're coming at you, man. They're like, they want to find you on the field. What's that do to your mind? Like, do you take that personally, or do you think, you know what, good, bring it. It's opportunities for me.
Oh, hands down, I take it as an opportunity. Like, man, well, that's good for me. That's just more time for me to shine, more time for me to get a little TV shine, a little TV action, all that little stuff. So I was like, hey, man, that's perfect. Let me go ahead and hold up my end and make sure, like, it's not the other way around. It's not that, okay, then y'all done found a weak link, and let me go ahead and point it out. Like, nah, I'm going to let y'all think that I'm the weak link because I'm just a rookie, but, hey, let's go ahead and flip it.
Eric Stokes joining us. I want to ask you something. Like, as a first-round draft pick, like, where's your separation? Because when you look at this thing, if you were to step back, you've lived this life for so long, maybe you don't even see it this way, but you are the upper 1/1,000,000th of the world at what you do, right? I mean, you are an elite, world-class athlete. I'm curious, like, where do you think your separation comes from? Is it like God-given talent, your speed, your skills, or is it something else?
I say a little bit of both. Like, of course, like, to be in the NFL, you got to have something freakish about you. Like, to be in the NFL, like, there's something like you just not no regular person going through.
No matter how badly I want it or how hard I go, I ain't playing in the NFL.
So, like, there's step number one to it. Like, with me, it's my speed. So, like, it's pretty much God given to it. Like, I was just born with it, and you can't teach it, you can't coach it, you can't do anything. It was just something that I had got when I was born. And then secondly, it's just my hard work. So, like, I got this speed, I got this talent, but I got a lot of hard work behind it. To where, like, I'm going to make sure that nobody else is outworking me. So, like, right now, it's hard for me to take this week off and just to relax and chill and not getting any work done. So, like, I still, like, I know right now I'm still going for little runs in the morning just to go ahead and stay some type of in shape and just not get too far behind. But it's just that work ethic that's constant.
So, like, what is that? Is that in your mind because you know somebody else is doing the work, or is it in your mind because this is just what you do? You normally work every single day.
Both. It's a little bit of both. Like, I don't like having that, like, people, like, getting up on me. So when I see other people working out, other people doing this, I be like, nah, let me go ahead and start doing this. Let me go ahead and start doing that. It's just like that little competitive nature in me. But then again, it's like a little daily routine to where I done got into a routine and I follow it, and now I've switched it up. It's kind of hard to adjust.
Eric Stokes joining us. He's in California having a little bit of downtime. So how do you approach like the social media aspect? Are you doing the work, and do you want people to know that you're doing the work, or do you not want people knowing what you're doing, and do you try and stay kind of stealth? Like, I don't want them to know exactly what I'm doing and how I'm getting better.
I do both sometimes to where, like, I disappear and you won't see anything from me working out and all that stuff. But then again, I'll reappear. Like, I make an appearance once in a while, so like you'll see that I'm doing a little something and all that stuff, and what I'm doing just to
so they know you're doing something.
Yeah.
But you don't want them to know exactly what you're doing all the time.
Yeah, facts.
All right, I get that. So the season ended obviously with that tough playoff loss. Like, what's it like when you go through it, you pay the price, you do all the work, you know it's your year, and then it just gets ripped from you, man. It just ends suddenly. How painful is that? Like, were you able to process that and get beyond that quickly, or maybe does that still bother you, that loss to Frisco?
It hand down still bothered me to where, like, 100%. Like, you can ask anybody on our roster. We did not see that coming. Like, we did not see that loss coming. Like, we was 100%. Like, we finna win this game. Like, all this stuff, and then the way how we lost and when we lost and all that stuff killed me. So like, I was even like, I just played I played GTA literally for 2-3 days straight. No social media, no none of that. I'm just playing GTA just to clear my mind and all that stuff. And then still literally, like, I couldn't even watch some of the playoff games because I was like, I know for a fact that we supposed to be there. So it still hurt and all that stuff. But then now it's just more so of a revenge towards where, like, I just want to make sure that we handle our business this year.
You want to make sure it doesn't feel like that ever again.
That's
hey, I mean, bottom line, is it just football and you tip your hat to the other guy because they were the better team that day, or were you not prepared the way that you need to prepare as a team? Like, what happened?
I honestly don't know what happened. Like that's something that we still talk about to this day. Like, we honestly don't know what happened or anything, but you can't look back on it. You just got to move forward and just continue to get better.
We're talking to Eric Stokes. He's in studio for a few more moments. What about your time at Georgia? What's it mean to you to be a part of that Bulldog family? And then how great was it to see them win that national title?
Man, it was okay. First of all, just being a part of the family is crazy. To like a lot of people would love to come to UGA. Like, we have walk-ons that like had scholarships to multiple different big name programs, and they still just end up coming to UGA just to be a walk-on, just to say they a dog. Like, I'm like, man, that's crazy. I would have took that scholarship. Like, that's my perspective of it. But then just seeing how many people come to UGA just to be a part of the family, all that stuff is crazy. And like, just to seeing them win the national championship is even crazier. To where I ain't seen we thought Georgia was cursed. Like, growing up in Georgia, like, you think any Georgia team cursed. Atlanta Falcons, how they blew that lead to the Patriots. We were shocked when the Braves won and all that stuff. So it was just crazy seeing actual Georgia team win something big.
You know, I was not going to ask you about this, but you mentioned the Falcons, so it just kind of obviously hits me in my mind. The Calvin Ridley story, dude, is one of the weirdest things I've ever seen in my life. Like, can you say as a player what the protocol is? Do they not hammer into you from day one? Do not gamble. You cannot gamble on football. You absolutely, that's the one thing you cannot do. Like, what is the message they give you as players as it relates to gambling?
Yeah, they do give you messages and all that stuff. Like, we even have like people come in and talk to you about gambling and all that stuff, and how you're not supposed to do it and all that stuff. So it was just crazy just seeing that.
But you know, they make it real clear to everybody, right? That's not cool. You that's the one thing you cannot do.
Hands down. They make it very clear.
All right, so last summer, you bought your grandmother a dream house. I'm really curious, like, if you work as hard as you do and you make it and you finally get some money, man, what did that feel like to be able to do that?
Hands down, one of the best feelings of my life. Like, it felt more, like, I actually felt that more than getting drafted. Like, actually getting that phone call, like, giving my grandma the keys. Like, I couldn't even do it. I couldn't even give my grandma the keys. I had to tell the realtor.
Like, it was too emotional for you?
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? It was too emotional. It was too hard for me to tell my grandma that this is her career. So I had the realtor tell her. And that's how, like, crazy it was. So, like, it's a feeling that I never, ever forget.
So what was her reaction?
Oh man, she absolutely loved it. Like she broke down and all that stuff. Cause like this was absolutely her dream house tour. Like she looked at multiple different houses and all that stuff, but she always kept coming back to that one.
Good for you. Also in the offseason, I know you adopted a Doberman puppy named Bolt. First of all, dude, who's with Bolt right now while you're out here? You have a dog sitter?
My grandma. He's with my grandma and my sister. So it's perfect.
So what's he like?
He's 9 months and a wild puppy. Let's just say that. I took him to training towards the end of our season. And he came back. Yes, he's better. I will say that. But then again, he still got a lot of puppy in him. He's just a wild person. Like this man barks. Like him and my grandma argue every morning. Him and my grandma argue every
about
morning.
what? Going for a walk? About eating? About?
He's ready to get out of, cause like we got like a section of our house, like of her house, blocked off to where like it's just him, so he could just roam that area. But nah, once he hear an alarm go off, he's ready to up.
Oh yeah,
like,
dude, he knows you're up.
Yeah,
he knows you're up.
He's up and he's ready to go.
I bet he's already been up. Listen, really quick. Speaking of Georgia football, what was your reaction when you saw Jordan Davis drop that crazy time in the 40 at the combine?
Did not shock me at all, hands down. Like being there throughout practice. Like yes, it shocked me that he was actually close to Davante. That was the thing that shocked me. To it, like we thought Davante was the fastest one in the room, which he still is. But like just seeing him like right there with Davante, hands down crazy. To it, like you can actually roll to be that big.
I mean, dude, I've never seen a guy that big move like that. But that's not surprising to you, though, right?
Oh, not surprising, because like we see it throughout practice, we see it throughout team runs, to and like when he actually run, or like a competition, this big man can actually move.
Now, I've never seen a big man move like that before. It makes you wonder how much faster he can go, like where this whole thing is going. All right, so what's it look like? You got a few more days in California, then what?
A few more days, then I'm back in Georgia, and I'm pretty much back to the grind, back to the work, back to my old schedule.
All right, so actually, one last thought. What's it like to live and work in Green Bay? Like that's, and I mean this in a good way, that's a different deal to be sure. What's that like for you?
I actually love it. To where like it's very quiet, it's very peaceful, like, and it's very small. So like I'm not dealing with no LA traffic. So like dealing with traffic coming out here or back to Georgia, I'm like, man, I forgot how bad traffic is. But being up in Green Bay is just so peaceful, so calm. Like it's freezing now. I never met cold. Like I never seen cold or felt cold that burns. Like, I didn't think it would get that
dude,
cold.
that is so true. Like I went to the AFC Championship game in Kansas City, and I've been in cold weather. Like I had a house in Montana. We have a house in Wisconsin. It's a different kind of cold, though, isn't it?
Hands down. I try to tell everybody that all the time. Like it's a different type of cold. Like yes, down here it's chilly, it's cold, but I say once you get up there, it's a cold to where you don't want to come outside. Like, you don't want to do anything, period. To where it's just a whole different.
So what's it like flying around the field when, I understand that you've got heated benches and you have blankets and jackets and all that, but still, it's cold, dude. So if you don't want to go outside, and I have a son who goes to Wisconsin, he says the same thing. Like, we don't want to go to class. We don't want to go to the gym. It's just too cold. So what's it like flying around, putting licks on people when it's that cold?
You know what? Make it crazy. I tell everybody this. I said game day is 10 times better than the actual week that people don't understand. So like for the Packers, we practice outside because we play outside. So during that week, it could be possibly even colder than actual game day. So playing out there, practicing in the cold is hard because we don't got, like, I know throughout practice, we only got little heaters. Like, you don't got heated benches throughout practice. You don't got the jackets throughout practice. You don't got any of that.
The adrenaline.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? The adrenaline, all that stuff is out of the window. So you just naturally out there, just standing out there practicing in cold. Now, that's the hardest part. So, like, once game time comes, you got adrenaline, you got heated benches, you got all this stuff. So it's
much better on Sunday, right?
It's much better on Sunday than it is during the week.
I get it. All right, he led the team in passes broken up with 14. He had a big year last year. He was the 29th pick in last year's draft out of Georgia, spending some time out here in California this week and made it down here. Dude, I appreciate you very much. Thanks for coming in the studio. You're good for my look. You're good for the brand, Eric. Really nice to have you, man. Nice job.
Thank you for having me.